Our podcast is a part of the World Podcast Network, now with over 1,000 podcasts. Visit the World Podcast Network at worldpodcast.network to listen to podcasts in over 12 genres. Come vote our podcast episodes up and help us rise on the leaderboard. If you have a podcast of your own, you can join for free. Welcome to Reality Tea Times 2, the podcast where we discuss all the trash reality TV we love to hate. I'm Tanika, and today we're going to be it's been a bit, talking about Below Deck Down Under. So that's what we're going to be doing. I'm not going to do any hot goss in this episode, but I will just do a quick announcement. Patreon. We got everything going on over there where it's not being delayed. Everything's happening over there. So we have 3 tiers over there if you're interested in joining. The first tier is at $3 a month. And there you can get these episodes ad-free, or the main feed episodes ad-free. Usually I do these ad-free. No, I probably don't do these ad-free anymore. But you'll get these episodes ad-free, and you'll also get AMAs every month. That's kind of what we do over there, and more to come once I actually get memberships over there. So that's what will be on the first tier. The second tier is $5 a month, where you will get everything in the first tier, as well as coverage of reality television shows of yesteryear on that tier as well. And currently we are doing Jersey Shore. We're hoping going to be entering into season 3 very shortly. And you can look out for an main feed bonus episode of a look into the first episode of season 3, which will be coming out very soon, or has already come out, I'm not sure. So that's going on there on that tier. And then the third tier, again, you get everything that's in the first 2 tiers. That's at $7 a month also. But you also will get true crime documentary coverage. We have done Ashley Madison, Man with 1,000 Kids, Into the Fire, and this month we are doing the Lacey Peterson documentary. So that's going to be probably the first episode is probably going to drop on Tuesday. Tuesday coming. I'm not sure when I'm going to this out, but Tuesday coming, that is going to be dropping for the very first episode, which the very first episode will be here on the main feed as well. But of course, if you want to hear more of that, you would have to go over to Patreon in order to get access to it. So that's what we have. Those are the 3 tiers. And of course, you can try before you buy. Obviously, you can check out the bonus content that comes on the main feed, as well as you can also try the tier for, I believe, a week for free. To see if you like it and want to continue. So that's also there as well. So if you're interested, you can head down to the show notes where the link to the Patreon is there, but it is at patreon.com/reality tea times 2. So that's that. Okay. So that's the only announcement I'll do. I'll save other announcements for the main or the longer episodes anyways. But let's get into it. So this, I believe I have talked about the fact that, yeah, I did talk about that. So we don't talk about the people who've left. So this particular charter, I'm going to talk a little bit about the lead up here so that it makes sense, because I haven't been talking about it. So, Laura and Zarina with their beef at the current moment, I'll kind of say where I kind of land with that in a second, kind of when we get to that, kind of the blow up that happens here. But yeah, I'll get to that in a second. So that's kind of the main thing I want to talk about. But these guests, they want to go to the circus. That's what they want to do. Yeah. Um, all eyes on me on the center of the lead, just like a circus, right? Okay. So it's they clearly were going for like a Ringling brother type idea. Okay. Um And it seemed to have been a lot of fun, the circus aspect of things. Jason was the ringleader because, I mean, yeah, he can lead me in anything. Okay. Um, so he was there, but he was also eating with the guests as well. The one thing I do need to say, because we need to talk about the fact that circuses, that sounds incorrect. The circus is very problematic. Very problematic. We know this. And I think, I mean, I don't know, maybe there's some people who are, of course, of like my age and older who have maybe not been to the circus before, but I have been to the circus before. Um, and like when a circus came and I was young. I was very young. And I remember going though. I don't remember very much of the actual circus, but I remember being there. And yeah, you definitely kind of feel like, "This doesn't feel right." Like, even, like, I've seen other things where they had, like, can't remember, like, I can't remember the name of the company that did it, but they had, like, horses, stuff like that. I've done that too when I was, maybe around 12, and, I mean, hopefully my biggest thing is treat the animals with kindness and care and love them. That's the main thing for me. And obviously with some of these circus back in the day, that wasn't always happening. So anyways, it's fine. Um, we'll get off our soapbox about that. So the main thing though with the circus situation is that Serena really wanted to have a lot of communication in terms of timing, because basically each course was going to be a different quote unquote act. It's like, you had the contortionists, you had the I think Harry did something about, like, did something. He was supposed to be like a leopard, I guess. I don't know. But, everyone did like did something, right? So each course was supposed to kind of coincide with that. So timing obviously was very important. And when Zarina's kind of communicating with, or trying to communicate anyways with Laura about timing, or saying like things are ready here at the galley, blah blah blah, nothing. Nothing. And listen, I think Laura did an amazing job with this, with her side of things. But when you have, the food is the main damn thing that determines the freaking tip. Okay. I'm going to say that the food is at least 50% of the tip. And you need to make sure that the food is the main thing. The main thing. So communicate with her when she's obviously also trying to communicate with you. The one thing, though, that I will say on Zarina that I'm gonna nick her on in this is, with the one, um, thing that kinda came, one of the courses that was being done, I think the domes? No, the domes were the one that were being sitting there kind of waiting, it was something else. She asked, I guess, timing-wise, when she should have that ready. Laura said 5 minutes. It wasn't quite 5 minutes when they were coming down, it was maybe 4, maybe 3.5 minutes. By the time she came down to, you know, get the food, and Zarina's like, "Oh, it hasn't been 5 minutes. It's been like 30 seconds." Bitch, no, it wasn't 30 seconds. And it's hard to kind of like, the timing is going to be to the best of the ability. Yes, the guests will have to kind of sit there and wait a little bit, but it's not like it's 10, 15 minutes. It's going to be 2 to 5 minutes. And they're still in the glow of whatever was happening a second ago. So it's, it's gonna be fine, but you don't have to take like a hit at Laura because she didn't give you exact timing. In a situation like this, it's kind of hard to give you exact timing. Move faster. I don't know what else to say to make sure that it's, it's still it's not sitting, but it's not, they're not waiting. I don't know. I don't work in this field. I don't know. But just yeah. Um, so then there's this big thing now. This which I I disagree with. For whatever reason, Laura is of the mind And I don't know if if we've ever seen sous chefs before, if this is a typical sous chef job, but maybe you could have handled that with Jason. More on that in a minute. But for whatever reason, Laura's of the mind that Alicia is the one responsible for cleaning up the crew mess. No, fucking no. Everyone should be freaking cleaning that crew mess. And at the very least, like, can I maybe understand to a degree that Alicia can come into the crew mess, pick up the food from whatever breakfast, dinner, lunch situation that the crew has had. Yes, I can maybe understand that. Like, you're cleaning up the dishes, I can maybe understand that part. But to kind of go there and say, "Oh, you should sweep or vacuum or whatever else or wipe down the tables and stuff like that," and she's the only person who should be solely responsible for doing that, that part I think is incorrect. How about everybody clean up after themselves? How about everyone pitches in for cleaning the crew mess? Because what happens to the ones that don't have a sous chef? Everyone pitches in to clean the crew mess. Why can't you have someone on the stew team clean the crew mess? Or why can't that be alternating? Not just have Alicia be the only person who has to do it. Because Zarina is really giving her a lot of responsibilities in the kitchen. Her main job is to sue the chef. Sue the chef. That's literally what she's supposed to be doing. That is her main job. Just like everyone else has their main job. Y'all have to clean the toilets and do the service and clean the rooms, and then you have the deck crew that has to do all of the deck crew stuff. You have all of that, yes. But everyone has their own responsibilities. But why can't everybody come in and help with cleaning the crew mess? And I really think this is something that Jason needs to come and get involved in. But the problem is that certain people don't wanna talk to Jason. So more on that in a minute, like I said, y'all. So, before we get to that though, this the well, actually, no, I think we need to talk about it first. I don't think I wrote it down here. So, I can't remember the gist of the argument that happened, or like, what was being said now, but I do remember the one thing that was said, though. Zarina and Laura end up having an argument. Not a really great argument, but they do have an argument. It would have been the next day. Obviously, Zarina's a little pissed off about the crew mess situation, the time management situation, the reason that she feels that someone is poaching her sous chef, which I think, honestly, I think that's a Zarina issue. I think for whatever reason, Zarina thinks that you're mine. You don't need to talk to anybody else, like, about your issues. You should come talk to me or whatever. Like, it's I feel left out type situation. And Zarina needs to figure that out for herself, because that is your problem. That is not Alicia's problem. That is not Laura's problem. Now, do I think that Laura could be essentially like, I honestly don't think Laura's doing anything wrong. I don't think that Laura should stop trying to be someone's friend because Serena has an issue. That's solely her own issue. But the whole situation, like with the lipstick, it's like, okay, Zarina had the conversation with you beforehand. I don't know why you're using boat money to buy her a lipstick. That part I have actually more of an issue with than her actually buying a lipstick for Alicia, but that's besides the point. You give her the lipstick, and I don't see any issues with it, but we're talking about Zarina here. Zarina clearly sees an issue with it. I don't know why she sees an issue with it. It's just fucking lipstick. But at the end of the day, it's like, I think both people know what they're doing, but for whatever reason, I think Zarina needs to work on herself. She is very much a pick-me girl. She really is. We've seen it with the men she's picked throughout. She knows that Weehan or whatever the fuck is like into one person, but then he flirts with you and you let him. Like, there's something off there. And then not only that, but you have issues when people are, yes, they're talking about you, but you have issues with people having relationships outside of you, and you feel like you need to be included or you should be included. You can't always be included. And you need to learn to self-regulate. You're too old to be acting like you're a teenager. really. And I do like Serena, but I'm not really liking her this season. This season's not great for Serena. But, the one thing that Serena says to Laura, which was really fucked, was, "Maybe you're falling behind because you're not waking up on time." What? I don't think her coming to work on time has ever been an issue, and clearly it's not because Serena literally says to Alicia once Laura had left because not only does that too, I forgot about this part. Serena calls Laura a bitch while her back is to the crew mess, and Laura is in the kitchen and is right there when she calls her a bitch, and she then says, "Well, you're being a dickhead." Yeah, they're both being bitches, it's ridiculous. They're both kind of being it's they're being bitches in their own ways, and we'll kinda in different ways, but we'll kinda get to that. Um, I think I'll get to that, but she then tells Alicia, "Oh, well, I just said that to her because I knew it would upset her." That's manipulative. That's really that's not great. That's very childish. And because, like, she knows that she did that and she's part of the problem here because you riled her up on purpose. She goes to Jason and says it on the walkie, Jason, Serena, can I come talk to you? Where are you?" And she goes to the bridge to talk to him, and obviously everyone can hear it. And Laura's like, "Bring it on, like, I don't care." And she tells Jason everything, which maybe partly some of it is accurate that she doesn't care about what Serena has to say. She is a chef at the end of the day. If she wants to use blue plates, she should use blue plates. Doesn't matter what the fuck you did with the decorations. Like, she should be able to do that. If she has certain ideas for food, that should be her ideas. You can give your opinion, but at the end of the day, she's the chef, not you. Um, and there are certain things that I think Laura doesn't care I don't think she gives a shit about Serena. Um, and for whatever reason, she makes it seem like she does care about Serena to her face, which is fake. I don't particularly like Laura, but I don't dislike her either. Like, I'm in this weird spot with her. Um, but Serena, I think really she needs to be liked. And she tends to say, "Well, because I was bullied in school, blah, blah, blah." We were all bullied in school. We were all bullied in school. We all went through shit. She sounded a little bit like Natalie. We've all kind of dealt with shit or whatever. But doesn't mean I need to be liked by anybody. I don't give a fuck. You like me or you don't like me. I don't care. And I think Zarina needs to kind of get to a place where I don't care what people think of me. And it's also very freeing when you don't really care what people think of you. So I think she needs to get to that point. Um, but Jason says, "Okay, we'll handle this after tip meeting." Okay, so that's what happens. Our guests leave. They give $23,000 tip. It's great. And then he says to everybody, "Oh, by the way, Harry got the helmet because communication, y'all, anchor issues." I didn't talk about the anchor issues. So he has a dare going in to kind of deal with the chain of the anchor or whatever. And it's kind of getting caught or whatever. I don't know what's going on, but it's not doing what it's supposed to be doing. Jason is trying to talk to Harry, which we saw in the last episode as well when he tries to talk to Harry now that he's officially lead decky. Um, he doesn't communicate very well over the mic, and he should be. Even if something is going wrong, you should be communicating that. And he's not, and Jason's getting a little irritated about that. But because of that anchor issue, he gets the helmet, or the communication issue, not so much the anchor issue, but the communication issue, he's the one that gets the helmet. So after all of that, though, he says to Zarina and Laura, "Can you stay back? Let's talk." Um, and he kind of is trying to be a mediator. He's trying to deal because these are head of departments. We're trying to get this figured out. And he says, like, to Laura, "Are you open to that?" And Laura's like, "No, no, I'm not. I'm not open to that. I don't think anything's going to change here." She's like, I don't want to do this." And she gets up and she walks away. Okay, listen, I don't think Zarina is great here. I don't. I think she needs to cut the shit. But at the same time, Laura, you're not innocent. You're not. I think this is a great idea for you to kind of hear Serena out, for Serena to hear you out, for maybe some change for the next few charters that are left here. And you walking away from that just kind of shows where your head is at as a team player. And it shows how you have absolutely no respect for authority because you just walk away from your boss like that when he is trying to mediate a situation. That is unprofessional and rude. Straight up. It's just straight up unprofessional and rude. And that makes me tip over to the other side of I don't like you. And how dare you walk away from my Jason? Anyways, um, so he does go and talk to her, and she does kind of say some things that, maybe that will be helpful for him to kind of understand what's going on here. But at the end of the day, nothing's going to get fixed unless you two are willing to talk to each other and fix it. You guys sleep in the same room. Like, what is, like, you need to talk about it. One of you has to be the adult here. And, like, you should also want to hear what Serena said. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think both of these people are acting like children in their own way, and it's stupid. It's stupid. It's so dumb. It's just so dumb. Um, but after that, we're kind of seeing like so actually before we get to that, I gotta say this part. Alicia is talking to, I think it was Brianna, about what Serena said to her in the galley after Laura left about like, oh, I just said that to mess with her. So she does tell Brianna that. And okay, that's messed up, right? That she said that. That Serena said that, not that Alicia said anything. So then while they're at dinner, Brianna says, "Can I talk to you? Can we, talk alone?" to Laura. And she tells Laura what Alicia told her that Serena said. And I'm with Laura here. Laura says, like, why would you make it your mission to purposely piss somebody off? And I think that's a really great question because I don't understand why anyone would do that. And she, yeah, like, she's over it, and I totally understand that. I'd be over it as well. Zarina, she needs therapy. She honestly needs some therapy, maybe some medication. I don't know because this isn't normal behavior. Because people are forming friendships and you feel left out. Like that's what it feels like to me. It literally feels like she is upset that Alicia has a friend outside of Zarina, and that's upsetting her. Stupid. Or that Alicia would say anything to anybody else about how she's feeling. Yeah, just maybe Alicia needs to talk to her boss about certain things, absolutely. But I don't see an issue with someone being a sounding board. And if she picks Laura, then she picks Laura. But Laura isn't going, it's not Laura's job to go to Zarina and tell her anything. Like, she's being a sounding board. Maybe Laura should stay out of it. But at the same time, like, whatever. Anyway, Um, the thing that pisses me off about Zarina here, that I'm just like, okay, no. You're literally sitting there being like, this is so hard for me. Cause like, it just reminds me of school when everyone would be mean to me. Like, I can't handle this. Bitch, cut the tears. You know what you're doing. You are being manipulative, is what you're doing. Okay. Who gives a fuck about what you dealt with in school and the way people treated you? You are a mean girl too. You hold your own. You're out here causing problems no different. So stop acting as if you're not. Stop acting as if you did nothing wrong and you're the innocent victim in this. You're not the innocent victim in this. Neither is Laura the innocent victim in this. Neither of you are victims. You both played a role in all of this. Don't sit here and pretend like you didn't. That part I had an issue with. Serena, get a life. Anyways, that's basically it. I just want Zarina to get back to the Zarina I knew and loved in the last season. That's what I prefer. Um, I think honestly the dynamic of her knowing somebody coming into this besides Harry is, I think, the biggest issue, honestly. And the difference is too is that Laura is also a woman. So I think Zarina feels like she needs to be in competition because these are two women being heads of department. So it's ugh, I don't like it. We need to stop it. Anyways, let's see what happens next. Does it look like Harry has more issues with in the next episode with communication again? Um, so we'll see. Anyways, that is it for me, and that is it for this episode. So if you like what you heard, please rate, review the podcast on either Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Also, don't forget that you can also share us with everyone in your life if you really love this. And I do want to read those reviews. I'm definitely getting 5-star ratings, but I want to read those reviews. So send me those reviews and I will read those 4 and 5-star reviews on the podcast. Also, we're on every one of your favorite podcast apps. Every one of them, including you can find us on YouTube at Reality Tea Times 2. If you want to connect with us, you can do so by going to either Facebook or Instagram at Reality Tea Times 2. You can also find us on Twitter, TikTok, Reddit at Reality Tea Times 2 Pod. We also have our email, which is at realityteatimes2 at hotmail.com. Definitely want to hear from you guys. And we also have our new website where you can listen to all of these episodes. You can review the podcast on there as well. You can connect with me in any way, all the stuff. It's all there. And you can find me there at www.realityteatimes2, all spelled out, .podpage.io. It's there. And don't forget, I also have my other podcast with my friend Mikkel, Next Take Podcast, where we talk about all kinds of different topics. But you can find us on any of your favorite podcast apps over there as well. Or you can also go to YouTube and you go to Next Take Podcast, as well as our website, which is solo.to/Next Take Podcast. So yeah, there's that, and that's basically that. And again, don't forget, if all of this information is overwhelming, we do have all of the links, everything in our show notes. But that is it for now, guys. Thanks. Bye.